What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce, and we are back at it again, big fella. What's happening? What's news with you?
Yeah, tough week. Tough week for me, unfortunately. But we'll talk about it a bit later in the show. We're back again, backing it up 2 nights in a row, 2 lives. Obviously, if you haven't checked out the NFL preview pod, there will be no NFL talk on this podcast tonight because we did a preview and it was yesterday. So check it out with Matty Cams, a long-time listener of this show, MC_collectibles, I think it was on
Card collectibles
on IG. So check out that ep. But a lot to talk about, Doma, because it was a bumper UFC card. Obviously, we had a great first week of AFL finals. And, Champions League is kicked off. EPL's in its flow. There's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. And top of the show, I didn't really want to talk about it, but it's already been put in the comments. So we'll have to talk about it. Global, how are you? Azuro, what's happening? Thanks for stopping by. Global says, what happened to Kyrgios? I didn't want to talk about it. The King is gone. He's out. King Kyrgios is gone.
Not good enough.
Hardly. If you haven't watched the post-match interview, it's probably something you should watch because, it's very funny. One of the comments someone made said that racket's gone to racket heaven. That's what someone said. He was just smashing shit left, right, and center. Like, it's hilarious. But funnily enough, go watch his post-match interview. I can't believe that he actually held himself accountable. He actually held himself accountable and said that like this was his best opportunity to win, and he blew it. He pretty much said he blew it. So I don't know.
Is it a turning of the page? Turning of the chapter for old Nick Kyrgios? It's the first time in his career he's really come out after the fact in an post-match interview and pretty much, put the blame on no one other than himself.
Still talk shit about everything else as he usually does, which is the entertaining part.
Yes,
but I don't know. I've said it a long time. This is my personal opinion. I might be completely wrong, but I've said it on the podcast. People out there like that are playing at the moment are boring as batshit. To watch. In saying that, Alcaraz and Rude, they actually play a very nice brand of tennis, fantastic brand of tennis. Then you've got like Berrettini and Sinner, the 2 Italians. They play okay as well. But Kyrgios obviously has the most flair, the most excitement, the most eyes on him at the moment. And you think about post the big 3, Federer doesn't even play anymore. Like, he pretty much should just come out and say he's retired. Djokovic is not allowed to play for some reason. It baffles me as to why he can't play this event. It's actually mind-boggling. It just shows the stupidity of people in the world, which, why am I surprised? Because people have been stupid for 2.5 years. And then you got Nadal, who's out. He's aging. He was lucky. He's won a couple Grand Slams this year. So what's the next coming? And it's Kyrgios. He's got the most talent. His game went to another level in this tournament. He just hasn't been able to sustain it. That's pretty much it. So it's the future of tennis. He's still young. He's 26, 27. He's not finished yet. Like, is he 28? He's out a year younger than us, maybe, or I'm not sure, but he's not gone. He's primed, Source. He's in his prime. Global says he doesn't try hard enough to be an all-time great, doesn't train
27
or play enough. He's 27. Oh, no, I think the turning point might have been that Wimbledon final where he lost. He got there and, he has been practicing a fair bit. Just because he said just because he doesn't have a coach doesn't mean that he doesn't work hard. So you don't know. Maybe there's a turning point for him. I hope so, personally. I don't know about yourself, Source. I literally had everything planned as well for Monday if he won the Grand Slam. I was going to walk into my office at work. I was actually going to print off the Kyrgios face, put the holes in the eyes, put a hat on backwards like Nick, and walk into the office. That's actually what I planned on doing. And he ruined that for me, unfortunately. But hopefully
Not good
all
enough.
goes
Yeah, look,
well.
I do want to see him succeed, and I hope it is the the opening of his eyes that he needed, and making that Wimbledon and understand that he's definitely has an opportunity to win Grand Slams in the coming years. So
Yeah,
um,
he did say
I
he felt he was burning out. But you know what? Now he's got a long rest in between now and the Oz Open, which is the next Grand Slam. So hopefully he can take his time, rest up, and then come back in January, Source. And I don't know, home Grand Prix, Grand Slam. I said Grand Prix before. Home Grand Slam, and hopefully, I don't know, get his first on home soil. Be nice. So yeah, see what happens with
let's hope. Let's hope.
the King. Anyway, what we were going to start with on the top of the show was the AFL, and we had finals week 1, and there was a few interesting things that
Cracking bunch
happened
of
in
games.
this. I think every game was a ripper. Source, that's safe to say. And we will start with Thursday night footy, and it was the Lions defeating the Tigs by 2 points, 106 to 104. Big turning point in this game was obviously they lost their ruckman Brisbane in the first 2 minutes, and
KO'd.
then Richmond lost their the engine in the midfield, which is Dion Prestia. And it opened up the door for Lockie Neal to dominate. He had 15 clearances at halftime, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, an unbelievable game.
So,
He was
your
everywhere.
thoughts, Source, on this one?
Yeah, look, in all honesty, I think Richmond missed one here, and they should have won this game. They could have killed that last ball. It was a bad mistake to not punch that through, and there was opportunities for them to also kick goals, and they were unable to do that and extend that lead. Obviously Tom Lynch and the overturn with the ARC score review. Let's just hope once they start putting little trackers in the bladder of the ball that and we have like a Hawkeye tracking type system that that call will be, a lot more accurate. It was pretty farcical, the footage that they show and overturn the call. Like Domi, you can't say that footage that they showed was clear and conclusive because the umpire had actually called it a goal.
Source, you're on the money. Now, this is a very...
Because the rule states it has to be clear and conclusive.
This is a very, very debatable topic. Very debatable topic. And people saying that, Lynch didn't react with the behind and Richmond supporters are silking it up and Hardwick's done this and all this other bullshit. You're just trying to take away from Brisbane's great victory. Source, I'm telling you, they have every right to get pissed. I don't care if Tom Lynch thinks that he missed the goal. The fact that the goal umpire came out, gave it the all clear as a goal, just wanted to double check that it was a goal, all right? He didn't say, I just want to double check it's a behind. He said, I want to double check it's a goal. And the rule is, if there's inconclusive evidence, then it has to revert to the umpire's call, which he signaled was a goal. I'm going to repeat that again, a goal. I don't care unless it hit the post or something like that and it's clear, then they overturn it. There was inconclusive evidence. They gave it a behind. Obviously, Brisbane going down the other end and Richmond lost the game for themselves because why you wouldn't put anyone on the line or punch the ball through is beyond me. They had 4 guys go up for the spoil. It drops to Danaher. I don't know why they're trying to spoil it forward. Punch it into the behinds. Kill the clock. Like, that's what they should have done. It's beyond me. The AFL comes out during the week and says, like, we're going to sit down with Richmond and we've got angles that weren't seen on television. What are you talking about? Since when has this ever happened before? Now you got angles. What, have you actually got 8K, 16K cameras that you're hiding that we don't know about? Like, what's happening? Seriously, we're going to sit down with them in a meeting and we're going to show them the angles that, gave us the evidence as to why we overturned the umpire's call. But everyone at home was left watching with ambiguity going, was it or wasn't it a goal? We're actually not sure because the video evidence that's shown before us actually is inconclusive.
So therefore should have been a goal.
It was a goal. So Brisbane effectively got gifted. They actually got gifted the game in this. So they can make
they
up
got
whatever
gifted the
rules they
game
want.
under that decision, and also from Noah Bolter and the Richmond
Yeah,
players that were back there and didn't
yeah,
spoil that ball through. And
yeah.
obviously, props. And this is where we'll give props to obviously Joey Danaher and Brisbane, because they didn't go away all night and they
No,
kept fighting
very
back,
true.
because they got behind and they kept fighting back. And, they were able to get the win. And that's being that, you know, it's said and done. But, just wanted to talk and mention those things, Doma, because it is a thing that, the score review came about in that, because in that grand final where Tom Hawkins kicked a goal and it clearly hit the post and it got given a goal. It was that year, 2013, that they ended up bringing in a score review system. We're now 10 years on, and this score review system is no better than what it was, say, 5 years ago.
I think it came
So,
in. No, I think they wanted to develop the score review, and I don't think it's been around for 10 years. I think it
no, it
came
hasn't been
in.
around for 10 years, but that was the reason why they
Yeah,
wanted to
that's the
get
reason
the
why. Yeah,
yeah. But say however long it's been around for, it's been around for 5 years at
even
least.
if it's been around 5 years, it hasn't
It's no
improved.
better than it was 5 years ago than it is today. And technology is supposed to be better. AFL, you just signed a $4 billion TV rights. I hope in that contract is that Fox Footy has to have all of these cameras, has to have 16K, 50 million K, whatever the highest K you can get, right? Because it's not good enough. It should be to the quality of what the NFL is. Their review system is like, it literally takes a dump on what the AFL's got. It just shit on it and light it on fire. That's how shit the AFL one is compared to the NFL.
I don't know. McGilligan is best friends with everyone over there in the NFL.
Gilligan.
So I don't know why he can't just go over there and say, "Just give us the company that does it." So I don't know. Global says, "Hasn't the goal umpire got a camera on his head?" Oh, that's a good point. I thought he did too. He would have been looking up, wouldn't he? Source, you would have thought so. Who knows? Anyway, there was a bit of controversy in that game,
Always
but
controversy.
Brisbane do get the win, and they move on to this week. They'll play this week against the losing Demons, who lost on Friday night to a surging Swans side. They looked unreal, Sydney. They just pushed so hard in the second half and got on top, and they didn't look back. Defeated them 91-69. Quiet games from Warner, Heaney, and Franklin meant nothing to this Sydney Swan side, who
Even Logan
pedaled to the
McDonald, he
metal.
didn't
Yeah,
do a
did
hell of a
nothing.
lot.
Yeah,
I think Sam Reid was
he stepped
Sam
up.
Reid and Papley were the live wires, obviously up forward.
Papley's so
Papley,
good.
he
He's so
just
good.
gets into the face of defenders. He's probably, we'll see how he goes. He's still got a while to go, but he's firming up to be a very, very good small forward, and may go down as potentially one of the the greatest small forwards that
He's G up whenever he kicks a
there
goal.
has been.
He's the
Still
best.
got a lot to play out, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not calling that too early, but I think he's that quality. And he goes in the center bounce and wins clearances, and he's so tough in there as well. So
How
he's
good
got
is his G
he's
up?
not just a one one
One trick
string to
pony.
the bow type of player. He's got multiple. He's got multiple. But Doma, I said, look, I'm just going to go with the D's because it's in Melbourne, and I thought they had a bit of their mojo back, but I was wrong. But I wasn't surprised that the Saint Swans won, and I vividly remember saying, don't be surprised if the Swans get up this weekend. They've been playing good, and their brand of football, their pressure game, just unbelievable. They just don't stop bringing the pressure, force the mistakes, and then they're able to capitalize. The scary thing is, obviously, you mentioned Doma, the very average games from Heaney, Warner, Franklin, these guys that didn't do much, but they still were able to, win comfortably in the
It
end.
was the guys like
So,
Florent and Rowbottom
yeah, Florent was unbelievable. He
that
was one of the
stepped
best.
up scores. The
He was one of
McCartan
the best.
brothers out back they're phenomenal together. Tom and Paddy
Yeah,
McCartan.
the rocks. They're
Yeah.
just rocks down there. Yeah, really, really good. They outworked the Demons forwards. the D's just bombing it in long all night. Like it was just, that's sort of what they like to get opposition, to do to
Teams to
them.
do, yeah.
Exactly. Bomb it into their 50, and got May stepping in and Lever stepping in to take those intercept marks. But the shoe was on the other foot. The pressure was so high from Sydney all game, and that forced the D's to just bomb it in long, and they were able to intercept and punch and spoil, get it out of bounds, set up, and obviously Petrarca got a bit of an injury, and that didn't help going forward. He was struggling throughout the game. He got a pretty bad corky when he tried to smother Lance Franklin on
It's
a
turned
play.
into a hairline fracture source, and apparently,
Yeah,
it's not anything to worry about. I don't know. He's going to be pretty sore going into this week. I can tell you that much.
they'll jab him up. He'll be out there.
Yeah, he will
Very
be. He will
interesting.
be.
Very interesting. I don't know. I think that's. I'm gonna just say this here. I don't think Demons win the flag from here. They can win this weekend. That's fine, but I just don't think they're gonna. From what I've seen, that when the game wasn't going their way last year, they were able to go. Leaders pull it in. Hey, we gotta get the ball moving in our direction. We got to make an impact on these next plays. And the Heat collectively as a team, there was so much synergy in that team that they would ramp up that pressure. They would, force mistakes, and they were able to kick 2 or 3 goals in a row. And they were able to sort of go up a gear. Didn't see that. On Friday night. And the Swans, they put them to the sword.
They did. And out of all 4 games, Sydney looked the best team out of.
Yeah, they did.
Which is scary. They've looked the best out of the lot at the moment. We will get to the Saturday game, which was probably the game of the round,
Cracking game.
which was Geelong versus Collingwood. Pies relentless. How they lost this is beyond me, Source.
You know why they lost? Because they weren't coming from behind in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
mate.
it's a
That's
fair
why they
point.
lost.
Now, there's an
They got
interesting thing that's
they got the
going on,
lead.
Source.
They couldn't
There's
hold
something
it.
interesting that's happened.
Speak to
Okay.
me.
And this has been a big talking point this week. Razor Ray was on SEN. I don't know if you called it, explaining it. I don't know. I'm not giving my statement on it. All right. But people in the chat can. Oh, what do you mean? It's not even going to play. You son of a. It says that the format's not.
You've
I'm
stuffed
sorry.
it up, don't worry.
I've fucking dropped the ball here. Anyway, what it was Jack Ginnivan, not Jack, Josh Dacos tackling Mitch Duncan when he was running in the middle, tapping the ball up to himself, gets control for a split second. Dacos tackles him. Everyone goes up for holding the ball. Isaac Smith picks it up, kicks it inside 50. They kick a goal out of it. And the momentum has then swung completely. And they then went on to kick, I think they kicked 3 goals straight, the Cats. So that and 2 more. Obviously, Gary Rowan took probably the mark of his life, looking like old Substance Carey.
Yeah, well, maybe this is the season where Gary Rowan finally puts it together in the finals, because he's famous for going missing and
He stepped up. He
singing
played,
old lullaby in the finals. He goes to sleep and doesn't
played
do very
well.
much. So he did play very well, and credit to Geelong, and this is why I like Geelong. You seen in that there was a point there where you thought, oh, this could be getting out of hand for Geelong, but they go bang bang, they kick the goals, they put the pressure on, they're able to get the ball going in their direction and win clearances where they play very well around the clearances.
They are,
and then they don't give up. They keep going, which is
that was the thing.
something
Source.
we haven't seen from them.
They played really bad. It's
They
not
didn't
like
play the best. That's
Collingwood's
right.
way better than them. They're really bad, and like you said, their perseverance to stay in the game and turn it when it had to be turned was.
Tom Hawkins did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but that's what makes great teams. Able to win when they're absolutely up against the wall and they got no hope. They don't stand a chance, and they found a way.
They found a way.
They found a
It was
way
an
to get
impressive
straight
win. It was
to a
impressive
prelim.
win, if you ask me. And
Yeah.
just, I'm affirms what I've said in that Geelong, I think they're going to win the premiership because that type of game to fight back like that and win by a goal, a late goal. I don't know. It gives your team confidence. Because they would know that they didn't play their best football on
They
Saturday.
didn't. They didn't. They definitely know that, Saucy. Pies, on the other hand, they have to come back and play this week. They're not out yet. Maybe I just don't tip them anymore because they've gone to a bit of shit, the Pies. But the final game was the Dockers against the Bulldogs in at Optus, and the Dogs jumped the gate. It was 43-3 at one stage. The Doggies were up. They pretty much did what they did to Geelong 4 weeks ago, and then Geelong ended up coming back and winning that game by 4 goals. But the Dockers came back and won this game by 13 points. So the Dogs choke a 43-3 lead, and the Dockers are through to face the Pies this week at the G. Sonny Walters probably played the best game of his season. Well, for the last 3 seasons, because that guy has been nowhere to be seen for 3 years. I didn't know what had happened to him. Like, his game had fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, it had. There was a point
We've
there where he
literally
was
been waiting
playing
for this guy to
midfield,
get back.
getting 28 plus a game and killing it,
I know
playing
he
the
had
midfield
injuries.
minutes.
I know he had injuries, but it doesn't take a year and a half to get back into form after an injury. So whatever happened to him, he finally decided to turn up, and he looked dangerous, which
You're
is
going to need him this
the
weekend.
Walters of old. They also need the other guy to play. You know who he is? Mr. Injury prone at the moment. They need him to play, even if you stick him up forward. I'm serious. Play him as a forward. You've got no forward options. Just play him up there. You're just kicking it to lob every time.
They need that. Yeah, they need someone else.
And Amos.
Is Taverner
mate.
still injured? Or
yeah, I think so.
play?
They had Amos come in, the young fella. Played well. Kicked 2, I think, or 3. Took some big grabs. Kept them in the game. So they need a bit of help. Hopefully the GOAT plays this week and the rest is history. They can try and snatch a win over in Melbourne. So the games this week are Friday night footy, D's versus Lions, $7.50, $1.35 favourites, the D's versus the $3.23 outsiders, Lions. Gamble responsibly. Saucy, who is your tip? I went 0-4 this last week, by the way, in the tips. You went 2-0. 2-2. I went 0-4. So
yeah, I'm gonna go the D's.
I'm also going D's this week.
Yeah,
I'm not toughing around.
I think Brisbane obviously is going to give a much better account of themselves than they did in the last game that they versed Melbourne and got absolutely slapped. So I think it'll be a lot closer than that. But I like the D's.
I think Cam Rayner's back.
Yeah, he will be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
I'm
going the D's because
I think Big O will be suiting up. I'm pretty sure.
he got a concussion. He'll miss. He can't play.
Can't play. Right.
No. Go concussion. He's gone. He's not playing. He
was
out
to have
cold.
1 week off.
Yeah, you've got to take a week off. So he won't be playing.
Wow.
So it's Gawn versus Danaher and Hipwood or McStay or whoever the hell they're putting in the ruck. Gawn and Luke Jackson, who should eat them alive.
Yeah.
Really. So that's
tough matchup.
It is a tough matchup. I'm going the D's because I just don't think the Lions are any good. I've said it. Like, they were terrible during the season, and they got a lucky break against the Tigers. Like, they played at home. They should have made mince meat of the Tigers. I know the Tigers were roaring their way into September, but Lions, if you need to solidify yourself as that top side, they blew their top 4 chance. I just, that's me. I just don't rate them as high as what other people do. So I'm going the D's in this one. And then the Pies versus the Dockers on Saturday, 7:25 p.m. $1.51 favourites, the Pies. Gamble responsibly. Whoa. There hasn't been soccer talk yet. We'll get to that in 2 seconds. Saucy, let's get this tip, and then we will move to some soccer talk.
I think the Pies will be too good.
I'm going Pies also.
Yeah, I think this will be the end of the road for
The Dockers.
Flagmantle and the end of, unfortunately, David Mundy's career.
Yeah, which has been a fine career, but you never know.
Amazing career.
Could pull a rabbit out of the hat. Let's move on to the EPL. And Benny says, not sure if there's been any soccer talk yet, but breaking news, Tuchel supposedly sacked. I will break that news. They have parted with him. It's not supposedly. Definitely 5 minutes ago, he's done. Chelsea lose their manager. 6 games in, source. It's massive news. Breaking news. It's good to have some breaking news live on the pod. Obviously, they lost to Dinamo Zagreb this morning in the Champions League. And I think that was the nail in the coffin for Thomas Tuchel. So, Saucy, your reaction to the live news that Chelsea have lost their manager?
Crazy. So so bananas. If you ask me, like I don't know what they're thinking down there. There obviously must be a disagreement between, Tuchel and the board. Maybe he didn't get what he wanted in terms of bringing players in this off season. I don't know. I find it pretty astounding. He's a good coach. So yeah. But look, Chelsea has in my eyes, they've got a weird makeup of players. I really don't think they're recruited well in the off season, as well as some other teams in the Premier League. And
they got the man that was so hard to be pulled away from his side for about 6 years, source in Koulibaly, which was a great pickup. But then they went and got a whole bunch of other.
I'm talking about the front end,
Yeah,
they didn't bring in any prolific scorer.
Yeah, but they kept getting centre backs. They kept signing more centre backs.
Yeah, I understand. They didn't bring in anyone up front. I mean, and where have they struggled? They're struggling to score. I mean, they brought in Aubameyang. I just think it's so crazy that they've brought in all these players now that I don't know whether Tuchel wanted him or well, I'm guessing Tuchel wanted Aubameyang. Aubameyang's played under him previously at Dortmund. So they have that relationship. I think there would have been potential for things to get better for Chelsea with Aubameyang coming in, and working into that system. We'll at least give him some sort of threat. We know he can bang goals in for fun in the Premier League. He did it for Arsenal. He just forgot how to do it when he wanted out of the club. So you're dealing with a head case in Aubameyang, but
did he play this morning?
I just find it so bizarre that they've let him go, and it surely has to do with the result. This morning,
it has to do with that result.
Dinamo Zagreb. Man. I mean, they were $1.44 favorites. Zagreb was $7 to get the win. So anyone out there who, put a little bet on Zagreb, congrats to you. That is funny, Benny. I was thinking that, but I was about to say, well, it's nothing new for Chelsea because Roman Abramovich is, we're used to him getting rid of coaches and changing them like the wind changes here in Melbourne, but he's gone. So
it's very interesting. So Kovacic played today, which was good. It's good to see Kovacic back, but Sterling, Aubameyang, Koulibaly, Fofana, Broja, Cucurella. These are all guys that they've brought in, source, in the off-season. They all played today. Zakaria did not play, but it's interesting. Koulibaly had a 7.5 rating. Fofana, 8.5. He was actually man of the match, according to FotMob. They said he was the best player on the ground at any given stage in the 90 minutes. Sterling had a 5.9 rating. Aubameyang had a 6.1 rating. So he's obviously didn't forget how to kick goals at Arsenal. He's just no good in the Premier League. Oh no, well, in a Premier League side anymore. I don't know. Havertz, terrible. Mason Mount's been shocking this season. Does it smell a bit of turn on the coach Man United style from last year, potentially. We know Lukaku had a run-in with Tuchel early, and then Tuchel refused to play him because he had a run-in with Lukaku. And then Lukaku said he wasn't the best person. Well, he said some very interesting things about Tuchel, and then obviously he's gone back to Inter now. He's gone. He's out of there. I don't know. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. Didn't he? He was coaching them when they won the Champions League, wasn't he? 2
Tuchel.
seasons ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me. Ancelotti did win the Premier League, and then they got rid of him. So,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not surprised because Chelsea does crazy shit with their managers. Like, as you said, Ancelotti won the Premier League and they sacked him that end of the season. Like, it's just such a Chelsea move to do. I think it's a wrong move. I really do. I think Tuchel is a good coach. And I reckon I feel what you're saying, Dom. I think it probably is a disagreement with players. And, obviously in these situations, the first to go is always the coach. They never get rid of the players. They keep the players. They're unfortunately more important, for the coach. But yeah, just crazy, man. Crazy.
Where's Manny? Manny watching?
He's not.
What's the time?
He won't be up.
7:30. He'll probably be up
in
in 10 minutes. He'll probably be on in 10 minutes time. Wouldn't surprise me because we did start early. Oh, massive. Massive heading into the Premier League this week. We'll get through to the games that have just gone by. Brighton, I'll start it over here because there was two match days within a week that just passed. And they all started on Wednesday last week. It was a draw. Leeds and Everton 1-1. Southampton beat Chelsea 2-1. Fulham defeated Brighton 2-1. Palace drew with Brentford 1-1. Then we had Liverpool defeating Newcastle 2-1. West Ham and Spurs drawn 1-1. Haaland, second game, Premier League game, second consecutive hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. They won that 6-0. Arsenal defeated Villa 2-1. Wolves and Bournemouth 0-0. United defeated Leicester 1-0. Everton and Liverpool in the Merseyside derby 0-0 draw. Villa City 1-1. Wolves 1-0 over Southampton. Spurs 2-1 over Fulham. Bournemouth 3-2 over Nottingham Forest. Newcastle 0-0 draw with Palace. Chelsea defeated West Ham 2-1. Brentford defeated Leeds 5-2. Brighton defeated Leicester 5-2. And then, of course, game of the round. 3-1 winners at Old Trafford. United defeating Arsenal 3-1 with the Anthony. Here it is, mate. The claws. There he is. He's out. The claws, Saucy. Just one of these ones. It was so good. I just love the fact that he got given shit. They said, United overpaid for him. We agreed on this podcast. United did overpay for him about 60 million, but it doesn't matter. He scored. Every goal he kicks is $1 million. So he needs to kick another 99 goals over his career at United to pay himself off. That's the way I look at it. It's $1 million a goal. So
$1 million a goal.
Fuck. Yeah. They were impressive, but in saying that, we played really well in the first half. At the same time, Arsenal did play very well. They were stiff not to have their goal allowed. It got overturned. It was the softest foul of all time. Even I'll stand up and admit that. It was so soft. Should not have been a foul on Odegaard on Eriksen. That would have changed the game. I think it would have been 1-1.
Would have been 1-0.
1-0 to you.
And that was on the counter attack. When you have first 15 minutes of the game, you put the pressure on United, and we were under the cosh. Then we were able to obviously get that one on the counter. It was disallowed. These things sort of do change the game, but it's disappointing from my point of view because I said, first 5 games definitely winnable. Should be 5-0 in my opinion. First real test is United, and we come up our first test of the season, United away. I would have been happy with a draw, Doma. And I think we could have, we could have had that. We got it back to 1-1, and then we didn't settle. We wanted to obviously go on and win the game at 2-1, but we just pushed too many bodies forward and got caught on the counter attack. We were clearly putting on a lot more. I think at one stage there in the second half, the possession stat was like 80% to 20% United. It was ridiculous. We maintained the ball, put the pressure on, but you caught us on the counter attack. And if Marcus Rashford wants to keep playing like this, the way he started the season, I mean, if you can get that form out of Rashford, you're going to be very dangerous because his finishing is looking good. He's looking sharp with his timing of runs, and he's lightning quick. Once he gets in behind, no one's catching him. Like, he's literally lightning. I don't think people realize how quick Marcus Rashford is.
But that's the thing. Like, he's not a winger. He is a striker, and you're pairing him up in that three-pronged attack with Anthony and Sancho as your wingers. Like, that's like lightning. And the great thing for United with Anthony, it's more than just a winger that can give the ball or score. He's knows the system. He's got flair, but he knows the system, the Ten Hag system, and his defensive awareness is on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So if he can teach Sancho to defend as well as attack, then it's like you've got 8 defenders out there at all times. And there's less pressure on guys like McTominay and Fernandes. They just play their game, and Eriksen. They can go about the motion and then use their wingers. And in result, pretty much convert it to scoreboard pressure for opposition teams, kicking 1, 2, 3, 4. Who knows what it could be? The back looks unbelievable now that there's no Maguire, and no Shaw. I'm serious. I'm not trying to pick on them, but the ball gets played so much better. And you would have seen that, Source. And I'll admit it, Saka destroyed Malakia. He killed him. He actually did. He did. Martinelli had Dalot's number probably in the first half, and then Dalot picked up on it in the second half. So they pretty much canceled each other out.
You did really, as you said, your wingers did really well to track back there and didn't leave Dalot, obviously one-on-one too many times. Was able to, come make it a 2-on-1 and Martinelli was passing the ball back a lot, and when he did get to the byline and try to put those crosses in, they were getting blocked. So, good defensively, can't really complain. It's just disappointing from Arsenal. As I said, first real test of the season and we failed. I want to see some character from the boys and obviously, move on and upward from here and bounce back, obviously getting the first win. I think we play Europa League, so that will be a good little tune up before we play on the weekend. But yeah, disappointing because we played pretty well, but the 3-1 scoreline doesn't look like we played well. I think people who didn't watch the game, they'll probably go, 3-1 United smashed them, but it wasn't really like that. It was just, it probably could have been 2-1, but obviously once it went down 2-1, we tried to, and that's what frustrated me with the second goal as well, is that we got a warning with Rashford about literally 3 minutes before the goal, where he was caught offside running in behind, and then 3 minutes later we literally let the exact same thing go, and then he was in behind, and we copped a goal. Or the one for Eriksen, 3-1, when Eriksen run in behind, and then he slipped it in. But goal. I mean, it was perfectly executed, if you ask me.
I'll tell you, there's a few positives, for ourselves.
A lot of positives for United, in my opinion. A lot of
positive is
much better than what your first 2 games of the season.
The positive is when you've got Casemiro and the GOAT coming off the bench.
Good depth as well.
That's a worry with Alfredo, of course, who is the best player on the team. Don't forget Alfredo. But Ronaldo's just looking better and better with every game that goes on.
He should have scored in this game, probably.
Yeah, his pressure was
they
very,
didn't find
very
him
good.
At times, he was right there in the box, and they just couldn't hit the target.
His pressure was very good. He was in positions to score. He's looking very good, Cristiano Ronaldo. It's just a matter of time. It's his longest scoreless drought. I think it's 9 games.
Yeah, you could see he was frustrated when he wasn't getting those passes. There was one occasion where he got it deep, pulled it wide, and he just
pretty
made this
sure. I'm pretty sure he went.
lung-bursting run and went to the near post, and Fernandez, didn't find him with the pass, and he just threw his hands up and
Lost it.
screamed, and he was just losing it. It was pretty funny to watch.
But he's bought into it. Apparently, reports are he's bought into it, and he wants to bring this team into the position for them to make Champions League, and then obviously he'll play again, hopefully next year in Champions League with United. And if that's the case, he more than likely could finish up his career playing there. He's got mates there. He's got Varane in there. He's brought in Casemiro. He's got, I don't know. The sky's the limit for United at the moment, and they're looking good. The system is slowly sinking in, and they're looking a lot better. So, yeah, we'll see what happens this week.
Next move
with
is
the
to get rid of Luke Shaw and get a new backup left back, and be gone of some of the old firm, I think.
Yeah. Well, this week's games are the following. Starting on Saturday, Fulham versus the coachless Chelsea. Then we have Bournemouth, Brighton, Leicester, Villa, Liverpool, Wolves. Reports are Diego Costa is going to Wolves, Source.
Oh, wow.
Diego Costa.
Amazing.
He's
I love it.
back. Then we've got Southampton, Brentford, Man City, Spurs on Sunday. Sunday morning.
Diego.
Then Sunday
Mate, that's what
night.
Chelsea fans used to do,
I
and then
know.
roll him up and yell it, Diego, and then he'd go fucking be bumping into people, doing dirty tackles. He's just...
I love him. He was a great player. He was very good.
He was
very good player. He's built perfectly for the Premier League. Then Sunday night, we have Arsenal, Everton at 11. West Ham, Newcastle. Palace, United, 1:30 in the morning. I don't think I'll be watching that.
Is that clash with the F1, Doma? Is there another?
Yeah, there's another F1 race. There is.
Oh, so we'll have the F1 on left screen and the Arsenal.
I don't think I can do the United game at 1:30.
No, you're going to be cooked.
No, I was cooked already this week. And then Tuesday, we got Leeds versus Nottingham Forest. That is to round out the round. Game week 7, I'm pretty sure that is. All right, so let's quickly move over to Champions League. We had Dortmund defeating FC Copenhagen 3-0. Dinamo Zagreb defeating Chelsea 1-0. Benfica 2-0 winners over Maccabi Haifa. Real Madrid defeating the Ange Postecoglou juggernaut Celtic team 3-0. Mbappe was the difference in the 2-1 win over Juventus. Shakhtar Donetsk defeated Leipzig 4-1. AC Milan and Salzburg 1-1 draw. And the brace from Erling Haaland against Sofia helps Man City win this one 4-0. Games tomorrow, Source are Ajax Rangers, Frankfurt Sporting, Atletico Porto, Barcelona versus Victoria Pleasant, Club Brugge versus Bayer Leverkusen, Inter versus Bayern, Napoli versus Liverpool, and Tottenham versus Marseille. So there's some nice games on tomorrow morning. Saucy. In the Europa League, which is on Friday, we're going to cover this because our teams are in it. We got Larnaca versus Rennes, Zurich versus Arsenal, Fenerbahce, Dinamo Kiev, HJK versus Real Betis, Ludogorets, Razgrad against Roma, Malmo against Braga, PSV Eindhoven against Bode Glimt, Union Berlin against Union St. Gilloise, Ferencvaros versus Tren Bonzapor, FK Crvena Zvezda, I can't pronounce that one, against Monaco, Feyenoord against Lazio, United against Real Sociedad, Nantes versus Olympiacos, Omonia Nicosia versus FC Sheriff, Freiburg versus Qarabag, and Sturm versus Midtjylland. Those are the games in Europa League. All right, Saucy, let's move on to the F1s. Interesting. No surprise who won it. Didn't come without some controversy. Source is muted. Let me unmute him.
Always controversy in the F1s, Doma. Always controversy.
So I'll give you the rundown, ladies and gentlemen, of the results from this one. The winner was Max Verstappen. He was a 4-second winner over the Mercedes, which sat George Russell. Could have been a completely different story. Charles Leclerc finishes third Lewis Hamilton in 4th, Perez in 5th, Alonso 6th, Lando Norris 7th, Carlos Sainz in 8th, Esteban Ocon in 9th, Lance Stroll in 10th. And then after the top 10, we always go and find our good friend Danny Rick, unfortunately, in 17th spot. Not great. Not great. But Saucy.
He's just riding out the season just so he can get a paycheck.
Saucy. Do you have anything to say about the team with the prancing horse, or?
I mean, are we surprised, like, in what they, them making another stuff up?
Eden says, "What's Verstappening?"
Yeah, I mean, he's just chugging along. I think, obviously it's sewn up. Like, I mean, we understand it's mathematically possible for someone else to win, but
it's over.
It's pretty much over.
It's finished, bro.
It's pretty much over.
You're playing for second. That's what you're driving for at the moment. It's finished. JT says, "Sue." We like it. Lewis Hamilton had this penciled in, Saucy, as a podium. And big blunder by his team, brought him in, put him on the mediums. Wasn't the right move. Georgie Russell overrode his team and said, "Put the softs on. I believe that's the compound to get me through to the end of the race." And it was. It put him up into second. Funnily enough, it falls into the lap of Ferrari, because they actually came onto the radio and said, "We're going to plan L," as we called it on Off the Grid, plan Le Mans, which was for Leclerc to finish in 5th or 6th position. They were happy with that. Leclerc exceeded their Le Mans tactics and finished on the podium in 3rd. So good on him. Lewis Hamilton, obviously, with that tyre change, screwed up. He came up on the radio and quote Lewis Hamilton. He said, "What the fuck happened there? You have fucked me." That's what he said. That's what he said.
That's
it was
exactly
hilarious.
What he said.
Oh, it was hilarious. JT says, "Will Hamilton win a race this year?" Yeah, when Max Verstappen sits out the last 4 because he's wrapped up the World Championship, he might have a chance. It was in the bag for him to win it this week.
He should have won it on the weekend. If they put him on the softs, he would have had the pace. But there was such a difference between the mediums and the softs at that time of the race. I mean, you've seen it. The safety car left. Obviously, DRS is not available for 2 laps, and he got overtaken easily by Verstappen, and with no DRS, just because he had the soft tires.
Something, JT. Also, thoughts on the Tory incident? Are you talking about the Sonoda one? Is that the AlphaTauri incident you're talking about? I'm not too sure. Anyway, the standings are in the driver's standing. It's over. Verstappen is 109 points clear of Charles Leclerc in second, who is equal with Perez on 201 points. And then we have Georgie Russell on 188, Carlos Sainz 175, Lewis Hamilton 158, and no one cares about anyone else because they're nowhere near 100 points. So good on them. We do have a race this week, and it is Italy. Formula 1 Pirelli Gran Premio d'Italia 2022. Saucy race is on Sunday, 11 p.m. You'll find us on Off the Grid. You'll also find Saucy watching the Arsenal game at the same time. So you get mixed reactions from him on both things that are happening at the same time, which is great. Prediction, Sauce. Who do you think's winning this one?
Verstappen.
A fair few straights on this one.
Verstappen. No, I mean, they had crazy straight line speed on the weekend.
It's Verstappen all the way, mate. Yeah. Eden says, Danny Rick comeback season. Yeah, comeback next year. Yeah.
That's F2.
Much, yeah. No, comeback next season. That's what his comeback season is. Comeback next season. JT, the thoughts on the incident. I don't know what the hell was going on. He said he had issues. He thought it was a tyre thing. They brought him in. They gave him a Deshaun Watson massage in the cockpit of the car when they were checking all his belts and everything. I don't know what happened there. They sent him back out. Then he stopped, and then it was just a mess. So I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It was a shambles. It was an absolute shambles.
So anyway,
It was a shambles.
they're a
It
shit
was
fight.
all over the
The
place.
team's a shit fight. Gasly struggled in that car all year. I'm so surprised. He got so much out of it last year. He won a race last year, Source, in that AlphaTauri. And now
Correct.
it's
He did.
gone to shit. So we'll see what happens this week in the Italian Grand Prix. All right, let's plug along. UFC Saucy. It was a banger card.
Yeah,
What
it was a
happened?
banger card. Doma, I will go through the results from the main card. You had featherweight division. You had Nathaniel Wood defeated Charles Jourdain. Featherweight division, William Gomis defeated Jano Aarons, third round decision. And then the middleweight, you had Roman Kopolov defeating Alessio Di Chiercho, third round knockout. Middleweight division had Nazardine Imanov against Jakin Buckley, defeated him, third round decision. And then these were the cards. So you did know that the main card kicked off at 5 a.m., Doma, and
Oh, no, it was
I
very
watched
early.
soccer the previous night, so I was up late. So I didn't get up at 5 a.m., but I did get up at 7 a.m. and around 7 a.m., somewhere around there. And it happened to be that I literally woke up as Robert Whittaker was walking out in his entrance. So I was able to see the main event and the co-main event. So Robert Whittaker defeated Marvin Vettori, the Italian, third round decision. Absolutely dominated him. Didn't even look like he'd been in a fight after he walked out of the ring. Vettori was banged up. I think Vettori, as you know, Whittaker said, he underestimated how good Whittaker actually is. You need to remember, like, you know, the other guy who's beaten Whittaker of recent memory is Adesanya twice. Everyone else is beaten, right? So, you know, you're only losing to the champ. And he didn't, you know, he had the championship before Adesanya. So he's clearly the number one contender. I think after the Alex Pereira fight, albeit if Adesanya wins against Alex Pereira, I think, you know, Whittaker is going to get another shot at the title. If Pereira wins, I don't know what the goal is. Maybe Whittaker gets a shot and then there's a rematch between Adesanya and Pereira. Don't know how that would work, but, you know, he's right there to have another crack at the title, and that's what he said he wants to go for, that gold. And then the heavyweight main event, Cyril Gane got the knockout over Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa. Yeah, look, I said that, you know, Gane would pick him off from the outside. I didn't think he'd finish him, but, you know, probably should have just had a look at Ty's record. I don't think he's had too many fights that have gone the distance. Ty did rock him. I think there's, you know, he could have improved and done things a bit better, but Gane's just too much of a smart fighter. He was hitting him with a lot of kicks. He was hitting him with these kicks right into his stomach, in his rib area. And, you know, even though Ty's got a bit of chub there, and you probably think, oh, that probably helps those kicks. Well, not when, you know, you allow Gane to land like 20 of them throughout the fight. Then pretty much every kick he landed on him, it winded him. It's got him to the point where, you know, if he landed a clean one, because he'd landed so many, each time he landed a clean one after a certain point, it literally winded Tuivasa, and that's how he ended up getting the finish. He hit him with a bit of a kick, winded him a bit, then he was able to throw a combo on because, you know, he didn't have the movement to dodge the combo, and then he was able to get the finish. It was pretty clean, and, you know, obviously congrats, Cyril Gane. There was one moment where Ty did hit him with a big left hand and did drop him on his ass, but that's about as close as he got. This weekend, there is a massive card. UFC 279 main card kicks off from 12 p.m. It's a big one. I won't run through the main card, but I will just on a couple of honorable mentions of fights. Kevin Holland against Daniel Rodriguez in the catchweight division. That's going to be an unbelievable fight. Then the co-main event, Li Jing Liang against Tony Ferguson. And then the main event, this is going to be an absolute cracker. Khamzat Chimaev against Nate Diaz. He's back. And if you didn't know, he's also going to be entering his hat into the promoting rink. He's coming up with his own promoting company, Nate Diaz, and him and his brother and other people who are involved are going to start their own MMA company and create fights and hopefully well, obviously they won't rival UFC, but we're able to find more younger talent and give opportunity to more people in the sport. So good stuff that Nate Diaz is doing. But it will be a cracking fight. I will give my predictions. I think in the main event, Khamzat will win. In the co-main event, Li Jingliang against Tony Ferguson. I think Li Jingliang will win. I think Tony Ferguson, the best days are behind him. And then in the catchweight, Kevin Holland against Daniel Rodriguez. This should be a great fight. Kevin Holland's on I believe, a bit of a run at the moment. Won his last two fights. Won his last two fights. And could potentially win this fight, but I don't know. I think Daniel Rodriguez might be the better fighter in this situation. So we'll see. We'll see. Daniel Rodriguez has won 3 in a row. He hasn't fought for a while. So this is, I think, is his first fight this year. So he's obviously must have had some sort of injury. But yeah, I expect Daniel Rodriguez to get the win, in my personal opinion. So we'll see how it goes, how it pans out. But it's a cracking card. Definitely tune in this weekend, 12 p.m. Melbourne time.
Definitely will. Very nice, Sauce. All right, we will move on. JT says predictions for Susul tomorrow. If you don't know, Susul is the name of our futsal team because our spirit player is Cristiano Ronaldo. Predictions. I like to win. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Played average last week. That's pretty much it. Got yellow carded last week, Sauce. Don't need to get into the intricacies of it all. I may have real estate at the venue with a few other players now. Just expanding my portfolio of real estate, Sauce, from basketball, basketball to the futsal court. So, yeah, the Gattuso in me came out, and it was very funny.
Sometimes I play good, sometimes I play shit.
Yeah, it was a bit like that for me last week. So we'll see what happens this week. All right, let's get to Hobby Talk, which has got the Le Mans in it, brought to you by Platinum Standard Grade. All right, thank you to the team at Platinum Standard Grading. Yes, Bulk Sub 3 is open. Please jump in to the group, which will be in the description below. We are currently running a promo for Platinum Standard Grading, which is a mid-year promo. It is 5 cards subbed for $105, which is our price, which will cover all your shipping to and from. That works out to be 4 cards for the price of 1. At the same time, Source, if we can get the group up to 150 people, whoever subs with us, 3 lucky people will get a free card subbed on the house from us to Le Mans. So join it.
It's a link in the description and
jump in,
the Facebook.
get it up there, and have some fun with it.
Mates.
Support Let's get to the Le Mans.
The best Australian grading company there is.
It is the best. Yeah. Depending on who you talk to, that get in the comments on some of our videos and try and question us. Anyway, we're not going to get there. We're not going to go there.
No, we're not going to give it a plug because we're not going to give that other company a shout.
They are
because they clearly don't want to give themselves a shout, because when I reached the hand for them to come on the show, they politely declined twice. So clearly marketing and branding doesn't matter to that company. But anyway, we move on.
We do move on. Saucy. There's some funny things here. It's going to get a bit out of hand very quickly. I hope you all know who Octane Collectibles is. If you don't know who Octane Collectibles, he does memes like Lameme James. So it'll tie in beautifully when I give this lemon. We all know who C. Blez is on this podcast. If you don't know who C. Blez is, welcome to those who don't know him. He's a breaker. He's in the hobby. C. Blez is a resonant name that we talk about on this pod. We've got nothing against Blez, to be honest. It's just we've given him a lemon a couple of times because he said some things that were very funny. Deserve the lemon. Anyway, he came out with this video. I'm not gonna. You won't be able to hear it anyway. Source, which is it doesn't matter because all you need to do in this is actually read the back. So the lemon is going to go to the lemons, which you'll understand, which says it's an eBay message to Blez from Lorgie Hyman's 9. It's in regards to the Callan Mond RPA. If you're not sure who Callan Mond is, it is a QB who everyone was high on in preseason. He plays for the Vikings, and everyone was dumping their money into Callan Mond rookies, and they're $2,000. Some of his cards were going for, and it was just out of control. And then they cut him. And when you cut someone in the hobby, what happens is when you've just purchased his card and it's on a fresh cut, not a haircut, a team cut. Source. What happens? People put in retraction messages to get their card back with a refund. This person who was investing in Callan Lamond said, "Hey, so unfortunately, I just found out that my cat Lemons has emphysema. So when I was researching treatment options, I accidentally bidded on your card a few times by mistake. So I have to return this since I never really meant to purchase it. Thanks for understanding." That's very funny, Source. Very funny. The fact that the cat's name was Lemons and Callan Lemon got cut from the Vikings, it's just set perfectly for this segment. Now, this person is not the only person getting the lemon. Not Blez, all right? The person getting it is this guy and every other Muppet out there that when things don't go their way, they try and rort people who are selling their cards, trying to do an honest thing to get their money back just because what they thought was going to be the next big thing didn't pan out for them.
Right. Good investment.
Good investment.
People
exactly right.
It. Investment.
It's going to be an appreciating asset. Asset.
You know what it is now? A very, very good coaster.
It is now. It is. And on that note, to everyone out there on eBay in the hobby that does shit like this, that has maybe a cat, a dog, a bird, a snake, a Blez, and you call them lemons, you are a... So let's give it to him.
Lemon!
About time we gave someone in the hobby circle.
It's pretty funny. I'll send the message.
It
It's
was
pretty funny, but we know that this has been an issue. You know how long we've been doing this podcast for, Doma, and we've literally been speaking about this issue with eBay for as long as we're doing this podcast, and it's been an issue a hell of a lot before that. You know, eBay is massively involved in now card collecting and you know, the hobby. We're seeing that at the National, they're at Mint Collective, they're showing their face at all this, getting involved. They've got a whole, you know, trading card team down there at eBay, but clearly there is one issue they still cannot fix. So
James says, "Get well, lemons." Yep.
Yeah, get well, lemons. The cat. Hopefully you get over your emphysema. But the old mate there is a lemon. That guy who.
I'll explain this meme to people out there if you're unsure. Obviously, some people might not be familiar. Well, a Palais Leaf auto got sent into PSA, got rejected authentication from PSA, an authentic slab. And then obviously Chuck Lemons in there. Lemons was the butt of the joke last week and everything. This was the life-changing Justin Herbert that got pulled. There's a color blast. Lemons. This is all from Lameme. He does some very good work. There's a Lemons Color Blast. What do we got here?
So
this
funny.
is a Callan Mon one. There you go. This is from Octane Collectible Source.
Oh, well.
So if you don't know, Octane actually puts more risque memes like this.
Oh, brilliant.
He's got some
brilliant. Yeah, he's got some funny ones,
stuff.
Octane. He look, you're not gonna lie, you gotta have a bit of a left field mind to take some of his humor. Let's just
some
put it
very
that way.
funny ones in there. So feel free to check him out. I'll give him a tag as well. You can find him in the description of the tile we chuck out on our Insta. All right, Sauce. That's done and dusted. Let's get to a couple quick things. Optic came out last week. Get a bit of a show on this. So hobby boxes of 21, 22 Panini Donruss Optic contain 4 cards per pack and 20 packs per box. Each hobby box contains 1 auto and 20 insert parallels per box on average. Look for on-card autos of rookies in the rated rookie signature subset. Very nice. It's good to hear. Chase after base and rated rookie hobby exclusive parallels such as Photon, orange to 199, lime green, red to 99, pink velocity to 79, blue to 59, black velocity to 39, gold to 10, green to 5, and gold vinyl 101s. Collect the full lineup of hobby exclusive inserts in the following sets: Elite Dominators, All Stars, the Rookies, Lights Out, Stargazing, and Reigning Threes. Let's get to the gallery. Here's some of the cards and what they look like. Here's LaMelo, Giddy, rated rookie, Scotty Barnes, there's the green, Klay Thompson, Wagner. There you go, Wagner. Bam Adebayo, Dennis Schroeder, Kay Cunningham on card, Optigraphs, Meta World Peace Source, Jokic, light it up, looks okay. Not a bad looking insert. Reigning Threes, All-Star, the Rookies, Elite Dominators, Stargazing, which is a nice looking card. That's it, Sauce. Bit of a look. Let us know if you've actually bought some in the chat. Be interested to see what you have hit. So there you go. That's Optics. Donruss Optic. Next one up.
Good product. Good product.
It is a
we'll
great
wait
product.
For the singles though. We'll wait for the singles to come
we
in
missed last week's one, Sauce. But let's get back to Project 2022. We have Alexia Putellas by Dolly. We've got another Haaland by Vincent Aseo. That's a nice Haaland, by the way. We have a Steven Gerrard by John Guido. We have a Ryan Gravenberch by Rafael Arola. And we have a Federico Chiesa by Timber Schmitz. So, any of those stand out to you, Saucy? I'll zoom out on it so you can.
Yeah, not really. I don't mind the Haaland. I mean, I think the design of Steven Gerrard one's pretty. It's a nice design. It's just, I'm not a Liverpool fan or really a fan of Gerrard.
I'm not going to probably buy any of these, but they are nice if you are a fan of some
There's
of these.
Some nice designs in there, so definitely, if that's your team or you like that player, have a look at it. Even the Haaland one looks good.
James says he prefers Optic over Prism. I think a lot of us do. You, Source, do you? I prefer Select over Prism and Optic over Prism.
Look,
so
I go where I think there's more value for money, and it's definitely an Optic because not right now because the product just released last week. So just buy your time, ladies and gentlemen. But I think it looks cleaner. I like the rated rookie, and I like the fact that it's on card autos. So You don't get that in prison.
No, you don't. Next up, source, we have an uncut sheet PMGs.
It's pretty
Here's the
cool.
listing. There is Dan Marino right here.
It's pretty awesome.
Very nice.
That's a nice collector's piece. I think someone said what would you do? Like, would you if you got that, would you cut it up, grade each one, or would you find a way if there's a possibility to grade the whole sheet?
Just frame it. Just frame it. Fucking PSA is not grading that whole sheet. Get out of here, man.
Beckett will.
That whole sheet, it's the biggest slab of all time.
It'd be fun.
No
I don't think they
way.
will. I don't think they will, but it'd be
You're
pretty funny to
crazy.
see a slab that big.
Yeah, it's called a frame. Just put it in a fucking frame. Doesn't need to be graded. The chances of the grade being above a 2 on a PMG sheet source, they already have a hard grade. So every one of these PMGs would probably have a scratch on it somewhere. There's no point. Just make sure it's authentic. You know, you can probably
They're
send it in
authentic.
and just get you can send it in and get an authentic like label made. You know, so you
I
can
wonder if
chuck it
there's
in
more
as
of this sort of stuff out there of other PMGs.
surely. Some of the plays you can get in here. So I'll read the description. 2 full sheets of 97 Fleer metal precious metal gems, PMGs, red and green sheets. The backs do not include serial numbers. These red and green sheets are identical in player coverage, including most of the biggest stars of the 1990s. Barry Sanders, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Emmett Smith, and Deion Sanders. It also includes a rookie of Tony Gonzalez, who's regarded as one of, if not the greatest tight end of all time. You are purchasing both sheets in this listing. We'll accept local pickup only, as these sheets are worth way too much money and too condition sensitive to ship in the mail. We believe we have priced them in such a way that only a person wanting to preserve these true pieces of art rather than cut them up and sell individually would be willing to purchase. If you have any questions about the condition or potentially purchasing, please do not hesitate to ask. There you go. And they have
It's a very unique item.
Instagram account, which is Sports Cards and Gaming. Oh, what do we got here? Uncut, another uncut sheet, framed. There you go. Look how good it looks framed. That's a baseball one. Ken Griffey. There you go. There's a PNG. Ken Griffey here. Pretty interesting source.
I read that those uncut sheets were for replacements for potential cards that may have need a replacement. So I think that's what they're for. I can't. This is just me reading other people's comments, so I don't really know. But it sounds pretty plausible.
Yeah.
I wonder how much more of that stuff is out there, though.
Oh, there'd probably be a fair bit of it. You would have thought, out and about. Like we know someone that at that Melbourne card fair has got uncut stuff, uncut sheets of certain cards and certain things like promo things. That's just like one person here in
Yeah, that's
Australia.
true.
Just imagine how many
True.
people over in the States got their hands on that stuff because it was so accessible product. So yeah, this might be the start of something. You might start seeing a lot more of it come out of the woodwork now since this is so, I don't know, prevalent. So it's all over the place in the hobby, so it wouldn't surprise me. What else we got on the agenda source? We have People's Voice making a return. We've only got 2 things left. The last one, I think you'll be passionate about. I haven't even told you about it, so I'll probably get you to open Cardladder while we do this. And I put in the private chat who you should be looking up. So there you go. That's for you. You see who those players are. And we'll take the time now to have a listen to a people's choice that was sent in, and Saucy and I will answer what is being asked. Let's have a listen.
Hey boys, Matty Cams here, coming off the latest NFL pod. Just wanted to throw out food for thought on an option, seeing as the other week rookie quarterback Kalen Mond got the old flick from the Vikings. Just all those investors that now have squat. So any options maybe in the past that you invested in that now have gone to shambles. For me, it was Eric Pascal. In the bubble, he was killing it. Poole was in the G League, he was looking good. But now, he's worth squat. So throwing it out there, those players, NFL, NBA, that have just done you for nothing, not worth a pretty penny. You know, food for thought, guys. How have you lost the money on which player? For me, yeah, Eric.
So there you go. So that was from Matty Cams. He sent that in. As we said, you can send us voice clips. We will listen to them and we will answer your questions on the show. It's pretty much like calling in live. So get those through to us. Just inbox us on our Instagram DM and we can create something like that for you. But the question was, Source, who have we flaked on? We've gone in on and they've become a flake. Matty Cam said Eric Pascal. I'm thinking of one for you anyway, but if you don't say who I think it is, then I'll be very surprised. Me personally,
doesn't count, man. I always said he was a dud, though. I always said this is like a left field.
Left.
You know what
where's
I mean?
my?
There's a. And that, like, I never went and turned around and bought his fucking. I'm not stupid enough to go buy his National Treasures RPA.
Yeah, I know
that people paid over $1,000 for some
Who,
dud. Who's
can you let him know who you're talking about?
KZ Okpala. He's not even on a list anymore, mate.
Love it.
But my total amount of money into KZ Okpala would be no more than $300, maybe $400, right? I'm not one of those lemons that goes and buys a freaking, as I said, NT RPA or flawless RPA or immaculate RPA, of these guys that, are deep picks in the draft. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, did I go pick up a Noir number to 49 patch order? Yeah, but it was like a $40 card, right? So, it's all relative to me when you're talking about those sort of guys. Like, who did you flake on? I can't really think of a guy that I went hard on. He'd be the only one because I'm talking about hard on in terms of having multiple of that guy. But everyone else that I've gone on has been pretty good. I'm trying to think of other. Because there's obviously guys that I've picked up that have, I've picked up Cam Reddish cards and things like that. And obviously he's not getting minutes and stuff like that. But a lot of that was just, base or a base hollow or a base, rookie card. I didn't go deep into him and start buying his RPAs and stuff like that. I think, or patch autos or auto cards. I think, if you're talking about flaking on a guy, you're talking like, you put a bit into him, you went and picked up a few autos. So like my next guy who could potentially be a flake, which I, yet to be seen, is Patrick Williams, because he's the next guy that I've really actually, bought a few cards of, got a few autos of his. Happy with the purchases, but he's still young, he's still up and coming. So, he's far from flake. But yeah, KZ Okpala was the guy, man. He never he had a bit of a chance at Miami, never really took it by the horns. And I don't even know what the hell he's doing right now. I think it'd be interesting to Google his name.
I wouldn't have a clue where he is either, to be honest, Saucy. No idea.
No idea, mate. No idea. He was traded to OKC on the 9th of Feb, and he was waived 2 days later, and there is nothing to hear about him. Round 2, 32nd overall pick. That's how easy it is to now be gone.
If you're no good, you just get waived. For me, so I really haven't had one at all, like, because I collect what I like to collect. you know me, I collect all sorts of things. So I really didn't go hard on someone, but in terms of what I've collected, but I can talk about things that I've missed on, and probably going in on Troy Aikman over Joe Montana was one of them. Troy Aikman over Lawrence Taylor. Deion Sanders. Those were the ones. I chose Troy Aikman. I thought, he's won 3 Super Bowls. His rookie card's easily accessible. It makes sense. Buy him for around $60, and I thought, they should have a massive run up. And I saw one at the hobby hangout for $50. So it's done nothing. Where all these other guys like Montana went up to thousands of dollars, and Trevor Lawrence went up to thousands of dollars. So missed on that one. So NFL vets kind of cooked me.
Lawrence Taylor, not Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, sorry, Lawrence Taylor. Did I say Trevor Lawrence? Sorry,
Yeah, mate.
Lawrence Taylor.
I was like, what?
Apologies. Yeah.
His prices are a lot.
Yeah,
and he's done nothing.
Apologies. Wrong one. That's pretty much it. I don't know. Basketball was. I should have just bought whatever source
You
told me
can
to
just
buy.
say you can just say Formula One, mate. That's where you can stop.
Oh
and finish it.
yeah, I could. We're telling people to buy Topps Chrome at $600 a box. And we said
And
it was
Doma bought how many boxes?
1. Oh, well, 0. My sister bought 1. She listened to us, and she's the one that made bank. And we sat
I
here
bought no
sitting.
boxes. Well,
We sat here sitting on our hands like idiots.
But I mean, we sound smart when we were telling people to buy the case at $8K. So unfortunately, we don't listen to our own advice.
Well, we are the true Le Mans of the Double Coverage podcast. So yeah, we've missed on a lot. As we keep saying, and we're not joking, we could have had the Double Coverage Island with a podcast studio on it and sipping margies, as BJ would call them, and just soaking up the sun ray sauce. But instead, we're not. We missed on all of them when we said we should have got them. Anyway, shit happens. That's what happens.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Next,
That's the way.
Next foot over the next foot. There's another day to live.
Exactly. But thank you, Matty Camps, for sending in the people's voice for this week. Lucky last on the agenda source, Lamar Jackson versus Mac Jones. Deep dive. Let's have a look at some comps. We spoke about this on the pod last night, the NFL preview pod. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. We covered it. We do a bit of a preview going into the season. And Matty Camps was talking about Lamar, how criminally undervalued his cards are compared to Mac Jones. So, Saucy, let's let it fly. Let's have a look at this. I'm very interested because Matty Camps put some stuff in our group today about RPAs and stuff, and just the price difference was like $4,000. One's an MVP and one's done squat and probably will do nothing. So, yeah, very interesting. Have you got Cardladder?
Yeah, I do, but the problem is there's not too many.
Oh, maybe we just do it through eBay.
I'm just looking up some comps of certain cards and just going from there. But unfortunately, because Cardladder hasn't updated the amount of cards that they've put in for Mac Jones, it's very limited cards, so it's hard to compare a card for a card. So
I'm just getting some stuff as well. You've got, let's go to sold items and see what we can find. Saucy. If I can find sold, it'd be great. Sold. Lamar Jackson sold.
yeah, so here's one here. Hang on, let me just wait for it to come up.
So there's a 2018 first off the line RPA rookie Emerald to 12. Sold for $2,241. This is a Lamar Jackson. Best offer on a BGS 9.5 RPA 2018 National Treasures. BGS 9.5 to 25, sold for best offer on 2,800. Panini Spectra Neon Green, ordered a 50.
So here's a number to 99 immaculate RPA Lamar. So that's SGC 8.5, sold for 577, and a same card of Mac Jones sold for 610. So some cards here very similar. I think it's crazy that Mac Jones is even the same. Well, he's more expensive than Lamar because that card's raw, so you don't know what it's going to grade. The Mac Jones, but I think it's so crazy that it is the same price. I'll find something else so we can compare another card. I mean, we did ideally want to use Cardladder's brilliant feature where we can compare certain cards, but because they haven't updated how many Mac Jones are in their system, it's very, very limited amount of cards. So there's not much to compare. Do we really want to go and compare a Donruss base rookie card? Not really.
Probably.
So there's not even So there's not too much to compare. But we'll look at one more. We'll just look at a I don't know if Flawless has released. So like a Lamar Jackson Flawless Ruby to 15s, 2,400. Last sold.
What was that to?
To 15, the Ruby to 15. I don't know.
There was an immaculate Emerald to 12 patch auto for Lamar that went for 2,200. So he's selling for about the same, if just a little bit more, which I find
he's selling for
ridiculous.
very much similar. Like, I mean, Mac Jones. Here we go. So this is a good one. So I'll bring it up. I'll add it to the thing. So we've got the Ruby to 15, Lamar Jackson. There it is. There, beautiful card. I believe that's. I don't know. Is that his rookie? Yeah, 2018. Doesn't have the rookie thing, but that one. And then here's the Mac Jones. That's to 15 as well. Mac Jones rookie. That sold for 1,800. So the Lamar Jackson a little bit more expensive, but still pretty crazy when one guy's being an MVP and won playoff games, and then the other guy who's just in his second season now still is selling for very, very similar pricing. So I think it's an interesting one. Maybe Mac Jones comes on to be a great player in the end, but I don't know. I'm not sold. And I think it's a bit unfair for Lamar to be comping at the same as Mac, in my opinion.
That's fair enough. Fair enough, Saucy. Alrighty, done and dusted. Another episode down. Thank you, everyone, once again for jumping in, sharing your thoughts and your comments with us. Check out our NFL preview pod, which dropped yesterday. That was with Matty Cams. So have a listen, have a look at our predictions, and also a special prediction from Matt's Card Shop, who is nicknamed Matty Ice after he picked the Rams last year to win the Super Bowl. So find out who he's predicted for the 2022-2023 Super Bowl champion for the NFL. On that note, Sauce, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. And peace.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.